Hello there, Firefly Home Energy Cleans, Nicole. I definitely would like to show you today 3 books. Not because we are a book review at all, but because talking about symbols or signals or our nature and spirit, God, whatever you believe in. But I'll call it God sometimes. Sometimes I call it spirit. Sometimes I call it nature. I'm really going a little bit everywhere. But I do believe there's some kind of energy. We are part of it. So we are God too. I really do believe that we're all part of some kind of very divine energy, which for me really correlates a lot with nature. So I really believe in spiritual nature. That's why I like shamanism a lot. I like shamans. Little parenthesis here. I always, when I talk about these people, these healers, these methods, I'm always talking about the proper ones. I'm totally aware there are fake ones that take advantage of weak people or naive people or sick people or people in need. And I'm the first one to be very hard against those because you don't take advantage of people that put their trust in you. So those for me are the worst of the worst scam. Well, there's a lot of scams around, but that's definitely a category that I put with bad scams of human beings. But I am so blessed that I met a lot of good shamans, amazing real healers, unconventional healers. So not only doctors, I met amazing doctors too. But I'm talking now here more about the subtle energy. So those kind of healers, those kind of shamans, those kind of people that are connected, maybe more than most of us, or maybe more than a lot of us, let's say like that. So as you can see, I put a picture, and I'm gonna put a video of a deer that I met in Fire Island, an amazing deer. I do believe a lot especially when you're flowing, when you're connected, which means when you're happy, when you're vibrating higher, so you're a higher vibration, so all your subtle energy bodies, your aura, that vibes, when you see people, that person has a good vibe, or that person has a bad vibe. So it's all about, we're talking about auras. A lot of people talk about auras, or this kind of subtle energies, even without knowing they're talking about them, which is very interesting, in my opinion. So it's just to make us being more aware of what's going on. And so we were in Fire Island, and it was a really happy day. So I was already vibrating higher, and that's when usually synchronicities, coincidence, or messages flow to us, or through nature or other means, in an easier way. Or also maybe we're more receptive and more tuned in to listen to them. It can be a page that you read in a book, like you open the book and you read something, oh, that's for me. It can be a song you're listening to while you're in the metro, while you're in the car. It can be a advertisement sign that you see in the highway when you're passing by with a car. It can be many, many things. Sometimes it can be your friends or a stranger that say something, and the very moment that you need to hear that. It can be an answer to your question or to your doubts. It can be a very useful phrase or sentence or concept that you needed to hear in that moment for something that's going on with your private life. So messages come through us. I believe that with all my heart and soul, constantly. Too often we are stressed out, we are distracted, we are totally deep in the material life, bills, worries, jobs we don't like, stress, commutes, alcohol if we go partying too much because we are trying to escape the reality we don't like, drugs. I encompass also prescription drugs, which are pretty bad. They are as bad as illegal drugs, probably worse because they're chemicals. I have not much against illegal drugs that are natural. That would be like magic mushrooms or maybe weed. Even if I don't really use them, I have nothing against people that use it. But again, if you do it, then you don't go drive. Always responsible, always responsibility. Again, ethical, level of consciousness. If one day you're using a lot of weed or whatever, you're smoking marijuana, you have to stay home. You cannot go operating a machine, a car, or going around. It's the same as if you're drunk. I mean, imagine how many people do that in alcohol, and alcohol is legal. So I don't understand why alcohol is legal and another herb is not legal. Everything that is chemical, unfortunately, has to be treated differently because it can be very dangerous, and we human apparently we don't have self-control that much, as we can see in society. So, but I'm not talking about that anyway. But I was sorry, I was digressing a little bit. Sometimes it happens. It's gonna happen with me a lot sometimes. I'll try not to. Anyway, so I believe in messages, and I believe they come through us in many forms. the moment we arrived in Farren Island, it's famous to have like a national park with deers, but we met this deer in the middle of homes, in a home garden. And he actually, I approached him and he kind of like, he licked my fingertips a little bit. And then I saw him again. When I was around, walking around, looking at the beautiful houses that are there, and he gave me another like little lick in my fingertips, and I gave him a little bump because he was eating trash. I'll probably upload that video. So it was really cute. And then the moment we stepped the first step in the sand, in the beach, there were dolphins out, but not that far out. And that's again thanks to COVID, which has been an interesting period, and we can talk about it another time, or we can think about it. We all have different opinions about this pandemic, but one thing for sure, this pandemic was really good for our other natural beings, our friends, the animals, and our environment and Mother Earth. In fact, there were dolphins, which I never saw in all these years in New York, and it was amazing. So what did I do when I came home? I got this book, one of my favorite books, and I checked the meaning of dolphins and deers and see how much they resonate with me. See if there was even one message there for me. I highly recommend you, if you want to start feeling a little bit more connected to these subtle worlds. Try, see if it works for you. Again, you don't have to believe me. Try. Maybe try to something new in life. It's always good to try something new. Then I have at home also these other two amazing books. And again, sometimes maybe with some videos here and there, I will definitely suggest some books, because I believe in books more than, watching videos, if they're good documentaries and everything, it's great. But I really do believe in also in reading books, and I'm a big fan of reading, and I believe our kids should read much more. But the examples must start from us. We need to read. We need to have books at home in order to give the love of books and of reading to our younger generations. There's a lot of wisdom in books, in many different books. Believe it or not, even if you don't believe in this kind of stuff, I always say, why don't you try? Maybe check online. You can check online for free without buying this if you don't want this kind of, get other books, but I'm saying this kind of stuff. But play with it. Try to connect yourself again with nature in any way, but just try to listen to symbols or to signals. If you find like a card in the rubbish or in the hole in the big city on the floor, or like a sticker with something written, maybe that's a symbol, maybe that's a message for me there. Try to again connect. We need to open up our subtle senses, our sixth senses, our gut feeling, call it whatever, but we need to tune in more and more, because I think it's very important. For some reason I feel this strongly. It's very important from now on for the world we're going towards. Believe it or not, it's important, because everybody, even the least believer of magical or energies there in the world, they have a sixth sense. They have this, they call it gut feeling, they call it gut feelings, they call it sixth sense, they call it intuition. But even the more like rock solid person doesn't believe in anything except things that he can see, touch, or whatever, have an intuition, and they know they have it, or have some kind of sensation sometimes. So any of us could try to play with it, feel it, see what happens when we start like looking around in different eyes. Take time to pause a second, even in traffic, or to pay attention to little things, or to messages. Try to ask and switch your mind's attention to messages and see what happens. And we go from there. Again, this is a channel where I talk about a little bit of everything, from cruelty-free products to feng shui, to simple design, to don't pollute, to anything like very material, very of this world, and very practical. But I really like also to put sometimes some emphasis and some attention and energy to the least material realities, to energies, to different ways of healings. Just because I want this channel to be encompassing everything that exists and may exist, that we might think exists, that we have doubts about it, just to little bit start getting people thinking out of the boxes. Always with the base of ethics, respect, and gentleness, kindness, and a level of consciousness higher. So I definitely do not promote anything that is bad, harsh. There's already a lot of that out there, and I think all of us should do an effort to try to change what's out there in internet and in all our everyday lives, to switch more to be kind with words, with action, with thoughts. Just switch. So if you leave a comment online, try to leave it kind, try to be nice. I think it's very important. And again, please do try to connect with messages that comes from somewhere to us. They can really be helpful. Thank you for your attention. I'm really glad you're here with me. It's a work on project. I'm having fun with it. So thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye.